we're trying to build McDonald's franchise. We got to stay true to who we are. We're fighting for the middle market, the single mom, the couple that's 35 years old with a mortgage and 40 grand saved. That's who we're fighting for. The one that RBC's not calling back. The grandma with 300 grand in the bank that RBC's not calling back. That's our market. So I agree. And there's nothing wrong with that. You think McDonald's is embarrassed? You think Jiffy Lube's embarrassed? You know what I mean? We have to be true to who we are. We're a business that serves the middle market. That's who we are. I think when you look at our base shop right now, I think they think what we really need to just get back to like our identity in the base. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but our identity in the base is we just smash people. We compete. The biggest part, don't get me wrong, I mean our super base is up there, but what's the biggest reason we won MVP last year? It's a base shop. It's a base shop. And the way you build a base shop is you get 2 or 3 people always on a run. There's always somebody running, right? Colton went on a run. Hubka went on a run. Lloyd went on a run. Navi went on a run. And all those 4 runs is what contributed to us crushing it. So I think we need to get back to, you know, and again, I want to hear from you guys what you guys think, but I think like, I thought the button was undone. But I just think like we have to get back to the fundamentals. I feel like we need to be a more cohesive unit. I think we've done a really good job of like explaining the ratios and tracking volume. And I think all that's important because I think like before, nobody had a fucking clue about any of that shit. Like nothing. So I think one good thing that's come out of all this is like I think everybody is really aware. One of my goals of the last coming out of summer was to create like an extremely high level of self-awareness. And I think we've achieved that. Everybody knows where they're at. But that doesn't solve the holes. That doesn't patch all the holes, right? Now what we need to do is we need to build the confidence back up in the base shop. We need to get some swagger back. And I wanted to have this meeting. There's a reason I picked you 3. There's lots of other people that could have been in this meeting, but I wanted you 3 here because I feel like the 3 of you, and there's other people could have been here, but I feel like the 3 of you are like in a really good place to like really start running here. Nothing's holding you back. You're super hungry, right? I mean, Kathy went MD. She went through a transition, had to figure some stuff out, but flew all the way across Canada to be here for a week, right? Trey, I mean, you've turned the corner. I mean, obviously with your kid and getting through the summer and like if anybody's had a reason to crumble here, it's been you. I mean, if you haven't been crying yourself to sleep, I've been crying for you, right? Bottles of wine. And then you, Chris, I feel like for you, it's always been like an identity thing, right? Identity, confidence. And I just feel like you got your swag. And I just think, you know, every time our base shop has taken the next step, it's always been with 2 or 3 people. And everybody falls in line. And there's some other great people in the base shop, like I said, probably could have been here, but I just think I wanted to just have a good chat today and figure out like how do we build that swagger again in the Holbrook base shop, kind of going into Edmonton and then really going into next Vegas. I want people so fired up to be in this base shop. I want them to feel like they have a significant advantage to be here. And you know, what we don't want to do is just get caught watching the Navi Gani show, right? We don't want to get caught watching because I'm the only one who's going to win from that. I'm the only winner in that game. Everybody else is losers in that game. And I don't want to have to expose you guys to him running away and us not being a benefactor of that. So I just thought I'd get you guys in a room, and I know you guys had some questions, but I was reading through it last night. I'm like, fuck the questions. Like, let's just have a talk about what we need to do. So I'll just tell you one thing I have planned, and then we'll just open it up. But so Nabby and I are running a Train the Trainers. It's called T3. It's every Friday in November from 3 to 5. So it's 3 to 5. It's a decent time.
Mountain Standard?
Yeah, Mountain Standard. I mean, it's, you know, Fridays, just Fridays.
Starting on
November 3rd. What's the first November? We're going to announce it. I was going to reach out to people tonight. Yeah, it's the 3rd, and then it's the 10th and then 17th, and then we skip the 24th because that's my 150K dinner, and then we have Super Saturday on that day, and then we have the Christmas party. It's the week after. The last one's on the 1st. So we're going to do 4 2-hour sessions of like intense train the trainers. And it's only our base shops. Nobody else is invited. It's going to be like high impact training. We're going to break this thing down to the studs, and we're going to build it back up. One of the big holes that I realized in CFT, like doing all these CFT evals, is that like I just did a CFT evaluation, and it was basically a 40-minute carryback, and like for some reason we're still talking about mortgage refinances. And ask me how many mortgage refis I've done in the last 3 years. Rhymes with hero. Yet for some reason, it's still a part of our process. And we're doing these fancy recap sheets that everybody's get caught up in. And for some reason, we're now a debt consolidation company with insurance attached. When the way I was brought into this business is we're an insurance company with investments attached, and the debt's an add value. So we got to get some things straight. And I think every time you give a new person an opportunity to talk about that, when they're nervous and they don't really know what they're talking about, they go way too in depth on something that you know, I had a person I was evaluating trying to convince me to go from a 2.5% mortgage to a 6% mortgage on a refi. Like, there's never been a worse time to refi than right now. Like, you'd have to have a monster amount of debt. So we need to shore some things up. We got to simplify. We got to get way better at the insurance side. CI, return of premium, even some disability. We don't talk about disability at all. We never train on it. We never talk about it. Like, there's companies, you guys, that do billions of dollars a year in sales that just do insurance. Yes, we're a holistic planner. We're going to give you your FIN number. We're going to tie in some permanent cash value. We're going to do some TFSA work, and we're going to move your money. But we need to like simplify it. So T3, 4-week T3 is just going to be really simplifying the process. We made some tweaks on the info gather, which is lights out, where all the cash flow adds up. It minuses from the expenses. That number goes to the final page. It shows discretionary income. There's just some things we're moving to simplify. Now, you can only simplify it so much. We're in the insurance industry. We can't. So we're gonna do some of that, but we need to get our swagger back. More people closing, things like that.
I was gonna say, because I remember, I can't remember when you said it, but you talked about us being like, again, take it with a grain of salt, but the Jiffy Lube financial services, and that's something that really stuck with me, because like doing complicated plans, yes, we can have the ability to do them, but again, it's more like an added value.
That was Ed who said that too.
Yeah. And it's just like you get them in, get them proper insurance, adequately covered with cash value if possible, better investments, send them out the door, you find the next.
Yeah. Like I'm sitting down right now with like a high net worth accountant, and we're doing all these elaborate corporate strategies. And with the elaborate opening multiple corps, I'm opening up a US LLC, all these complicated things that only applies to like 0.1% of the population. Yeah, with that comes some elaborate financial planning and elaborate strategies. But we're trying to build this. We're trying to build McDonald's franchise. We're we gotta stay true to who we are. We're fighting for the middle market, the single mom, the couple that's 35 years old with a mortgage and 40 grand saved. That's who we're fighting for. The one that RBC's not calling back. The grandma with 300 grand in the bank that RBC's not calling back. That's our market. So I agree. I and there's nothing wrong with that. You think McDonald's is embarrassed? Do you think Jiffy Lube's embarrassed?
No.
You know what I mean? We have to be true to who we are. We're a business that serves the middle market. That's who we are.
I think really focusing on like what is our bread and butter, because I've had a lot of agents talk to me and like try and book meetings for home and auto and like things like that, where I have to just tell them like no.
I tell them no too.
Absolutely not. Like that is not what we do. That is so far off of what we do.
The more complicated you make it, the less people you reach, and it's hard to duplicate.
Yeah.
You come in, it's like, I can't do what Trey does, or I can't do what Don does, or I can't do et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And
instead of learning the script, they're taking the low-hanging fruit. They're trying to get in the door with like the lowest hanging fruit, right? Where it's like, we got to do this the right way. We got to get in front of them, do the presentation, gather info, make a sale.
And the thing too is like, there's never been a better time to lean into it, because going like TikTok or Instagram, or kind of social media, like everybody's talking about insurance and whole life and being your own, like it's never been like this. We're trying to like move away from it, but everybody wants that.
Yeah. That's all great stuff. Like I want some partners in the base shop again. I need some partners. I need some people that I can lean on and run ideas by and build this training. And, I'm hoping that's kind of what the start of today is like, and obviously, it helps when you guys are crushing it and competing. And that's a big part of what we need to help solve and get back in the base. But there's a lot of great people in our base shop right now. Like we have a lot of great people. There's just another level. Like we could go from where we're at right now to 3 million point base shop. So what do you guys think, hey, we got a lot of great things going on, but what do you think are some things that would help take our base to the next level?
I think we were just chatting about something too. Like I remember going back to like where the Holbrook base shop has like a swagger, but just competing with other base shops. Like when you and Chad were competing first ones to 5 or 15-15 and things like that. Like it was very much base shop against base shop, but we were all like kind of one cohesive team.
Yeah.
But the competition was up there.
I agree.
So finding something to do.
There does feel like there's a lack of cohesion where it's like, it's not like we're not one team in one office. We're like 4 different teams with like 7 smaller teams in one office and no one knows what the other one is doing. Like even when we lived in Regina and there was no Zoom, I knew where Colton was at all the time, numbers wise.
How did you know that?
Because it was always posted. Right? We posted the chats and there was like leaderboards and stuff like that. And we were sending each other like videos over WhatsApp to smack talk one another. There isn't any of that. And I think it's because we're like shaking off the rust of like Zoom still. We're getting back in person, but I think there's like an element to that where it's like now that we're getting back in, it's like now let's kind of create that community again and that competition.
Yeah. What about the live leaderboards we post?
Oh yeah, it's
golf
great.
scores.
Hey,
Does
I
that
love
help?
live
Does that help?
leaderboards. I check it every week, but it only gets updated once a month.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I have no idea where Xander is at for this month. I know what he did last month.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you check the leaders bulletin.
The leaders bulletin if he shows on there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
No, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I love.
So how do we create that?
I think we've started to with the in-person, like just seeing attendance. Like if you see where the MDs are versus Colton, I know Colton was smack talking a little bit last week, and he's going to get his numbers up.
It's nice to have him around, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love having his energy. Burr? Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah.
Talks a lot of shit.
And before Nabby, he was the MVP. Colton was the last Nabby.
I think what's missing, like to add in, is like right now, like you said, Steve, we have a lot of great people in the base. That's the issue. There's a lot of great people, but I think when Nabby kind of graduated out of the base, it was like, who are the next leaders? The clear, defined leaders, the ones that I'm going to be calling up, right? And I think that's what's missing. I think that's why we're here.
Yeah.
And that's what the base needs.
Yeah.
And that's where the energy is going to come.
Yeah.
And the MDs need to be aligned in terms of like what we're doing. And there needs to be a defined top 3, like consistently just top 3 on the board, and
I agree. And I think when you have somebody in the base that's kind of running away with it, it's easy to mask other things. But I don't want to run a title-driven. I'm not a big fan of running title-driven meetings or title-driven things anymore. And it's not that getting to MD is not a great accomplishment, but there's MDs in my base shop that none of that you'd even know of that show up in my downline. They haven't written a sale in 5 years. They just have a code. So what is MD, right? But to Katya's point, having that competition and having that kind of that, and I've seen it just recently, right? And you've been a big part of that. Just recently, I've felt that. I felt that competition brewing. I think we need obviously we need a few more irons in the fire, another 30 to 60 days to get people back up to speed. But I think we need to have loyalty to the base shop first. I think we need to understand that competing and a little bit of healthy trash talk is all in the name of the base shop, right? Because if Chris is talking some smack to Nav and Arj or whoever your person coming up is, right? however your person is, if Nav and Arj, or whoever, or Murph or whatever, if they're just kind of, friendly competing, that's a healthy thing. That's a healthy thing, because I'm on a group chat with Trey and Xander, and I started a group chat with the top 5 MDs right now on the board, and it's like crazy. It's insanely hilarious.
Yeah, for you.
For me, it's amazing. I love it, but I'm like, that's what this is all about, right? And we just got to get that back in the base. We just got to get that. So that competition is really what I got out of that.
Yeah.
Creating competition. Yeah. What else?
I feel like energy. Like, I'm not sure, like, if you guys have ideas on like that. Obviously, building, right? Recruiting is a sure way to increase energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of been what we're trying to grow towards.
I think maybe even too, like, just for our office right now, like, maybe we gotta, like, for just a small period of time, like for the month of October, maybe for November, like, really go crazy with, like, incentivizing people to get to the office. Because I think environment's a huge thing too, where it's like there's periods where, even like on Monday, right? I get it's Thanksgiving, but it's not like there's 4 people in the office on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no one's at work and no one's like, there's 4 or 5 people here. So it's like, I think there's things that we can do, like even to drive more people coming in, being at the office, having that environment, and like giving people a reason to be here. Because once you get that like popping, where people are like always going, then I think that'll be a huge thing too.
Yeah.
Because then it's going to be like, whose base shop is it going to be that's like really driving that? It's going to be your base shop.
Yeah. I think that within the team, that's a great opportunity for you guys too, to get your guys to the office and bunk up, and maybe because I was here all day. I was one of the guys. I was one of the 4, right? So you guys can bunk up and have people here and do all that stuff. I mean, that's all stuff that Xander's doing in Ontario right now, right? He's getting his guys in. He's calling his guys. He's bringing his guys in. But I agree. I think getting them there. I mean, they got to. You can't incentivize enough the wrong person. Like, so they got to be the right person. But yeah, getting people in the environment is going to be huge. Yeah. Yeah, I think, that's all, that's all good stuff. I think that, everybody too just has really got to dig in on their team and their goals. And, I think sometimes at MD, we hang on to people in our team a lot. I think MD is more of a personal contract than a team contract. I think people mistake it because we get some accountability and because we post some team numbers. I think MDs feel the responsibility to manage their team. But in reality, like right before Nabby went SMD, he was 95% of his production. Like leading up to the 30 days before Katu went MD and Z kind of started writing business, Nabby was 200,000 personal points. That was his year. Right, and whatever 25 directs, whatever it was. I think we put a lot of energy towards trying to like motivate our team, when really MD is about figuring out how good can you get on the personal side. You're preparing to be an SMD, and the best SMDs are the best at the personal side. They're the best personal recruiters. They're the best personal producers. They're not the best managers, right? So I think too, having months where guys are going for their personal bests, right? Encouraging people to do a personal best. Maybe November, we talk a lot about hitting your personal best. And again, we can we have a last man standing contest. It hasn't moved the needle. So we can throw as many contests as we want, and we can throw, this and that. But at the end of the day, it's about what you can do is create a culture. You can create a strong culture. You can bring a ton of energy. You can pour a bunch of belief into people. You can bring the confidence up by teaching them how to close. And I think that's going to be an important part of like building this confidence the inside out. And who we think our players are now may not end up being our players, right? So what I'm most excited about is how strong our base shop is without having like anybody yet emerge as like the next big leg. Nobody's yet really emerged as like the next big recruiting leg, which means we have like 8 or 9 pretty good legs. So it's good. It brings stability. Like by the end of today, we're probably at 60,000, 65,000 points. I mean, we're on pace to do a couple 100,000 points this month. But what I'm really excited about is the next, 30 to 60 days when 2, 3, 4 MD teams or associate teams really start to take that next step. So we gotta figure out how do we kind of create that you can manufacture momentum here. You can create it. And that's really what we got. Another thing we kind of got away from is, 5-5-30 jackets.
Yeah.
10-10-30. When's the last time we had a 5-5-30 qualifier in the base that did it 3 months in a row? Right? Like every month, everybody's goal is to do 10 and 40. Well, what about 5 and 15 3 months in a row? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like,
Consistency, build a consistent business.
that's the other thing. Maybe at the MD level, maybe we need to talk more about 5 and 15. Like, hey, it's awesome. You know what? I appreciate you setting in your goals at 10. Great. We know it's 20 meetings a week, but 5-5-30 is 10 meetings a week. And if you can do 5-5-30, that's 15,000 points, most of it personal, right? That's $7,000 a month. Everybody who got their jacket was making $6-7 a month on their 5-5-30 run. So that's another opportunity I think we have, is to really, really lean back into that jacket. Chris is like, hey, I'm getting my blue jacket.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? October, November, December, I'd say getting your blue jacket, opportunity to lead by example, right?
I think that's what, and lead, like following that point, is that people want to build a consistent business.
Yeah.
You don't want to just have a one-off month where, hey, I hit DDR, or I almost hit DDR, or I did 30,000 points this month. What about showing everyone in the base shop, new, old, like OGs and, brand new, like, hey, this is consistent.
Yeah.
And then that excites
Yeah.
people because they're like, oh, if they can do it consistently, I can
Yeah.
do it consistently.
Yeah. Can you imagine, guys, if we had 7 MDs, 6 MDs doing 5-5-30? What's 15? Dude, 15, like, and minimum. It's not just 15. Some of you guys are doing 20, 30, 40, 50, 60K. 15 times 5, that's 75,000 just from that. It's probably 130, 140,000, but it's consistent. 30 recruits, it's consistent. Guess what our licensing ratio came in today in the super base at on the system?
35.
Who knows? That's high.
No, I was gonna say,
No, good guess. Who knows what it was a year ago? Super base.
14.
was it 16?
Yeah, it was like 9 or 10.
Oh,
I was gonna guess 8.
It's 26%.
Crazy.
26% licensing ratio. It's huge. What does that tell me? We need to just run more volume. We need recruiting. Cam Michaud texted me the other day. He goes, hey, bro, I want you to focus on 50 million points a year. And he broke it down. 50 million points a year is 278. I'll show you the text. 278 recruits a month. 278. Keep heading north with licensed agents and building leaders. 50 million points. You're 10,000 recruits away from pacing 50 million points, or 278 recruits a month for 36 months.
That's
So-
not super base?
That's super team.
Super team? What do you got here?
Probably 120 to 140.
It's not that far
It's
away.
double.
Yeah.
It's double, Trey. We double our recruiting. And this, predominantly, our numbers the last 12 months, predominantly probably average 16% licensing ratio. Now they're at 26. They'll be at 30 by the end of the year. So, like, we are this close. We're this close. But, so I think we need to focus, and you're going to see a lot more of this, but, and I loved all the ideas, right? Competing with other base shops, creating competition, getting more guys to the office, right? Things like that. But, all that speaks to me in one word: it's culture. We need to double down on the culture in this base shop. We got to have each other's backs. If you're a member of the Holbrook base shop, you're a part of the crew. You're part of the team. You're in the number one base shop in the company. There's not another base shop in the company that you should rather be in than this base shop. So we need to work together over the next 2, 3, 4 months, or even weeks, upcoming weeks, to just make sure that means something, right? Because that's an unfair advantage when we bring people into that kind of that culture. And I think that increases everybody's confidence.
I think it's definitely going to start too with like even just with like the 3-way text with Vic
Yeah.
and starting, and they immediately get introed and they're already feeling like they're a part of something.
Yeah.
No other, just emphasizing when we talk to them that no other base shop does this that we know of really.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to have somebody call them right off the bat, walk them through, hop on a intro meeting with them and everything.
It's insane.
We have like you've provided like the perfect base shop to really culminate and grow the strongest leaders. There's no excuse, right? It's just volume. It's just new people, new energy.
Yeah.
I think that's really
I agree, Katya. I think in hockey, when they say people are holding their stick too tight and they're in a scoring slump, we have to go back to the basics and keep it simple. We have to keep this business very simple. This Edmonton event that we're planning is going to be next level. I'm telling you guys right now, it's next level. Like, we are running this like it's a big event. We have a landing page for it. We have the speakers we've lined up are second to none. What you're gonna see more of is there's gonna be some workshop styles. So my vision is like, we run like 5 or 6 20-minute workshops on like personal branding, social media, the aspects of the business, tracking, analytics, like how to do the business, different sections of the business, how to set your business up for entrepreneurship. I even think we should have a section on like how to run your business like a business, saving for taxes, putting money aside. Like my outcome for this event is to provide so much damn value that at the end of that event, people are like, can I buy my ticket for the next one? Like, it's insane. Like, you'll see the launch on Saturday. There's been an inordinate, we've been meeting every week for a year. We started planning this in April. We've been meeting every week for a year. Now it's like 2 meetings a week. So it's going to be over the top. What do you see the promo video that these guys launched? It's insane. The caliber is insane. So I think all that's going to help with the culture. I know Edmonton is going to be the launch of our FC run. FC, field chairman, 50 million points. But what I want to do is I want to get with leaders like you guys and really build a ton of momentum heading in. Because I want to, here's the reality, right? You all have some great people on your team, but you may have not found your best leaders yet, your biggest leaders yet. What if you found your biggest leader between now and then, right? And that's not taken away from anybody in your team. I mean, Nav and Arj are going to be SMDs and 6-figure earners, and I tell them the same thing. What if you could all get your next wave of leaders at this event? This event's going to be insane. And it's only going to come around 12 months from now. So the hierarchy is moving in a direction of towards that. I've already felt the culture of the hierarchy shift with us like coming together on Friday Night Lights. Everyone is now moving, getting in line with the system, right? Everybody's coming to me going, hey, how do I run this? How do I run that? They're going to Vic, like fine tuning it. Now what we have to do as a base shop is we have to go and we have to show everybody how to run the system, right? We have to run the numbers, build people up, create culture. And I think that really building that unity, like you guys talked about, is going to be important.
What about too? I don't know, because I know it kind of seems like it goes in cycles. Where Wednesday nights, for example, everybody's kind of have their own night. I know not every SMD, they kind of have a way of running things. But are we ever like, what if we came back and started like after a little bit of running the system, and then we can start competing as a hierarchy whole? I know there's a lot more work and there's a lot of opinions on planning, training, and stuff, and it kind of makes it difficult in that regard, especially as we grow. But even going back to that for like a month or two, like the month of January, or the month of February leading up into the March event. Yeah. We all get together on one big event or one big training on Wednesday night or something like that. And then here we could just, the room would be packed. Like the room would be. I think where it's going to head is we're going to have to do, I think we're going to have an East training and a West training eventually. You have to.
let's call it March, let's say we expand into a new office in Ontario in March, and that office is 14 offices, right? By then we'll have 150 licensed agents. I think the best thing to do is us to run 2 trainings, East training, West training, right? The answer is, I think at some point we're all going to be together. Yeah. Jared and Chad have already asked, like, hey, what, like down the road, what are the chances? Can you imagine all of us in Calgary on a Wednesday night in that back office?
It'd be
Like packed office, 130 people.
bringing your new agent to it.
Bringing your new agent to that, BPM and that training. Unbeatable. We can still plug our teammates in virtually. That's not an issue. We're still always going to have people on Zoom. We're never going to get rid of Zoom. But I just think that, yeah, I think at some point that's what Greg did. Greg has all his guys on one night in his office.
Is there a reason why we don't do that now? Or we just...
Yeah, because we have our East team that we're working with, and I'm just not ready to let go of the East team. What's that?
There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts. We all got some people out East that, still need our mentorship and our leadership. So, yeah. And we're moving our training up an hour to like the East and West training should be different time. Like they can't be at the same time. It's 2-hour time change. Yeah. It's tough, right? Like it's hard to do one national training.
It's going to be a 3-hour time change pretty soon too, isn't it?
Only for Regina. No, only Regina changes. We're always 2 hours difference.
Oh,
Yeah. So that's all down the road. But yeah, that's another good point, Chris, is we got to get the culture here going, and I think that's where it's heading. It's just being on a name.
Because I don't know who any of like the rising stars on like Chad or Jared's team.
We have this amazing environment, and it's time we start taking advantage of it like we used to. Our entire hierarchy was built from this office. Even when I moved to Ontario, I went to Ontario with Recinto, and then we built everybody out there. But we all came from here, all started here. So yeah, that's what the kind of the introduction. We're getting back into it. There's only 10 weeks left till the end of the year. 8 weeks if you take Christmas out. So there's 8 BPMs left.
Good question, because obviously I've only been in the business a year.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what it was like when you guys had multiple base shops in there.
Yeah.
What I like about keeping it more so Holbrook plus Yanni and Nazareth is recognition, right? I love when we recognize like rising stars, people. But my question to you, Steve, is how do you think we can build confidence in our new agents, right?
The only way to build confidence in our new agents is to show them results. Show them that it works. So you bring them to training. They hear something, or they see somebody else winning. They see somebody else getting an award, even if it's not their team. They see other people winning. They start to see themselves in those other people. And then we go and we show them how to get results. Like the only way to build confidence in someone is to show them how to get results. Everybody on our team, right? Anybody on our team right now that lacks confidence hasn't got a lot of results lately. They haven't seen it. They haven't seen an RSP move in their market. They haven't seen insurance policy close. They haven't seen a recruit. They haven't seen a startup. They haven't seen anything. So they come to meetings. It's been 3, 4, 5 weeks, and they're less excited as they were. Every time they see a result, they get excited again.
Yeah, I think that's why Navi built so many Crusaders and so many flagship carriers.
Yeah,
was because he led first and he led really strong.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I have to do moving forward.
And you're capable of doing it.
Yeah.
You're more than capable.
Yeah.
It's about going to work, personally leading, grabbing our new teammates, and showing them how to get results. I mean, yeah, every day he calls me. He's like, oh yeah, I just sat down with these 3 people. I showed them how to do this. Oh yeah, I sat down with these 4 people, did a phone zone, booked 9 meetings. Yes, today I sat with 3 of my next CFTs and showed them how to do Newfoundland Gather. It's all about like, and those are all things that I did when I was at his level. Those are all things that I did to get people up and running. So those are all important things. All important things. But nothing trumps culture. Nothing trumps culture. Nothing trumps environment. And right now, we have 100 licenses in our base shop. And that's a big ass base shop. It's the number 1 base shop in Canada for size. So when we all start firing here, which we're right there, this thing gets to 150, 160 really fast. Really, really freaking fast. Really fast. I mean, 5 MDs add 5, 6 licenses. That's 30 licenses. I got at least 20 outside of you guys. That's 50. We're 150. That's energy. But we got to get our volume up. Got to get our recruiting up. And that comes with it's confidence, but it's like lack of vision. We get distracted. We're not as excited. So I just think like having more of these talks, bringing you guys in, having conversations. It's not all about the numbers. Like, where are you at for the month? Because I know you guys are all capable. Y'all got to MD. Maybe he's having a good month, and maybe you're having a good month. Maybe you're having a good month. Maybe you're having a slow month. And it just depends on the month and the day. But yeah, everybody, all 3 of you, I see as SMD 6 figures. All of you, all 3 of you. No, like obviously, I mean, Trey's going to get his ring this month. I mean, I see you guys making 250. But I want to work together to make this base shop even better while you're here. So that when you leave this base shop, you're rolling. You're rolling at a level where you're confident, you're feeling great. You're like, I'm in the Holbrook base. We did 67 recruits last month, right? We're licensing our leaders on stage, and we got this guy, we have this girl, Katia, 100K MD female, like in our base shop, and Chris just got his ring, and man, there's 8 MDs with their rings in our base shop, and you want to make money? We got 8 guys in Holbrook's base making money, right? We're renting the Raptors box. We're doing all this stuff, and Holbrook's got us a box at the Saddle Dome for a 6-figure earners in his base shop. Like, that's all shit that I want to do. All shit that I want to do. So that's all going to help with culture. So I think that right now, immediate takeaway, let's just get our teammates really excited. I think sometimes, guys, like it's like we get down on our team because they're really flat and we don't talk to them a ton about exciting things. Let's just set a goal to like let's just be excited again with everybody. Like, man, I'm so excited. I'm so fired up. I'm so excited, right? I'm so pumped up for the next 10 weeks. My God, I have so much clarity. I haven't felt this way all year. I have my vision. I haven't felt this good since I went MD. Boom, I just feel it. I got that swag back, man. We're going to crush it. We're going to blow up. Man, you're going to, hey, I want you to take out this guy and let's go make a name for ourselves, man. I'm going to do direct on Sunday. I got 6K in the pipe and I've never been more fired up. Chat with you tomorrow. That's what it takes. That's how I built this whole base shop. It's by being really excited and projecting it onto people. And sometimes when we're not where we want to be and the numbers aren't where we want to be and we're not feeling great about ourselves, we're not excited. And if we're not excited, none of our teammates are excited. There's a reason they joined, and we need to keep that fire going. So I think that's like an immediate thing we can do. Like tonight, even me, tonight, I'm just going to be a little bit more excited than usual. Because I am excited. I'm going to show it at a higher level tonight. Because all of our guys are more scared, more broke, more frustrated, more disappointed than we are, right? So if we're not fired up and they don't see us fired up, then they're not going to be more fired up than we are. Because they're like, shit, man, if he's not excited, why am I excited? So anyway.